has been a presentation of Big 2 News, Midland, Odessa's news.
The league clash will take to the field, and as is expected, as always, to be a tough battle. This one, as we told you yesterday, will be seen nationwide by Sports Channel America, who is doing the contest. Bob Papa and former Miami Dolphins and University of Texas football star Glenn Blackwood will handle the ball game. Now, the pair have seen a number of games this year involving top high school teams, and they say there have been some good ones out there.
You have to take a look at some of the best teams. We did Pensacola, Florida, which is rated #1 by the USA Today. But if I had to make a little pick, I would think, and this is prior to tonight's game, so don't hold me to this, that St. Ignatius and Cleveland might have been the best overall team we've seen, but my mind could be changed very easily tonight.
I don't think there'll be any doubt that it'll be a good and very hard-fought football game. You've got two extremely good football teams. You've got some top-notch talent on each one of them. And there's no doubt in my mind that it's just going to be a lot of fun to watch tonight. Game time tonight is 7 o'clock on that one. Meanwhile, this afternoon in Crane, we presented this week's Channel 9 Sports Superstar of the Week award to quarterback Mark Sanchez. Crane Sr. passed for over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's been a big plus to the Cranes offense.
Well, it's the second week, was last week, with him as
Odessa's news leader, Big 2 News, with Mike Barker, Becky Neighbors, Jay Gordon Lund with weather, and Skip Baldwin with sports.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome live to Midland Memorial Stadium. I'm Skip Baldwin, and coming up tonight, it's the District 4-5A Showdown, the Permian Panthers taking on the Midland Lee Rebels. And what a great sporting event this has become over the great years here in West Texas. You know, coming up a little bit later on in sports, we're going to preview this game. We're going to have a very special live interview with Jack Terrian, the former Midland League coach in 1984 and 85. Also a taped interview with John Wilkins, who was the Permian head coach from 1973 to 1987. Also, a special look back at some of the great moments, the great plays from this great rivalry. All of that coming up in an extended sportscast later on. But first, let's go back now to the studios and Mike and Becky.
All right, Skip, I wanted to ask you just a couple of questions. Are you still with me there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, there's a lot of emotion in this game tonight. We've got a lot of young men out there, and they've been preparing for this for a long time. Do you think the emotions are really going to play a big part in this game tonight?
Oh, there's no doubt, and it always does. This rivalry actually started back in 1983. That's when it really became the big rivalry, when Midland Lee and Permian played each other, and it was the first time that Lee had beaten Permian in many, many years in the regular season. Then, of course, they played in that great quarterfinal game up in Jones Stadium when there was 35 or 40,000 on hand. That's when the emotion really came on into this rivalry, and since that time, it has continued on, and that's why we're here live, and that's why a national TV broadcast, Sports Channel America and HSE are here, because they also know what a great, great football game this has become.
How about the fans there? I see behind you some bleachers that they had brought in. Not too many fans there. What about the rest of the stadium?
Well, right now they're just starting to filter in. Of course, we're about an hour away from kickoff. You can expect somewhere between 12 and 13,000. They've got about 12,000 seats, but I promise you, there'll be some people out there that don't have a ticket that find a way to make a move in here and find themselves a seat.
Okay, Skip, thanks very much. We'll be back with you in just a couple of minutes. Well, you know, the rivalries between Midland and Odessa schools reached a feverish pitch this morning.
Pep rallies at all 4 schools had students eagerly awaiting tonight's kickoff.
And tonight we have a Big 2 News team report.
We begin with Eddie Wood in Midland.
The fur will be flying tonight as the Midland Lee Rebels try to make it 4 in a row against Mojo Magic. Things got pretty serious today in Midland as Rebel Warriors prepared for battle, using a little magic of their own. But this is no ordinary high school football game. This game could be the turning point for either of these teams' district season.
It's the first real big test, you know, during the district season. And I think we're going to have to establish ourselves, you know, as being a good team to take a playoff spot.
But it's been a long, dry 3 years for the Panthers, and they say this is the year of the cat.
Well, what goes round comes round.
But you can bet there's one thing that's not going around, and that's plenty of tickets to tonight's big matchup. These stands will be filled with only true die-hard Midland Rebel fans. In order to see tonight's game, you must have bought your tickets over 3 months ago. But that doesn't stop some people from trying.
I wanted to parachute in before the game started. And then we've had one that called and wanted to ride a white horse in with the Confederate uniform on and lead the football team in. Tickets are at a premium, as you can see.
Did you let any of them in?
Not hardly.
Even though this is a yearly event around here, there's still a little extra hype surrounding tonight's game. How many times have you seen a national television crew in Midland Stadium?
If you look around, all this is in preparation for tonight's game. This is the first time that a Midland League Permian game has ever been televised nationally. And although most of the media attention has been settled here in Midland, there's an equally important game going on just 20 miles away. Big Two's Mike Gibson has more.
I'm Mike Gibson, Odessa High School, where the smell of victory seems to be in the air. At least that's what the Bronco faithful are saying. The Bronquette cheering squad says their team's the best. No question about it.
Because we are the fastest backs in Odessa.
Others say the key to victory tonight is just plain old spirit.
The spirit that we're good and we know it.
Y'all gonna win tonight?
Yes, we are. Because we're doing good this season.
And after seeing today's pep rally at Bronco Fieldhouse, one could believe spirit alone just might be able to carry the Broncos to victory. And at Midland High, the Bulldogs were looking for spirit and encouragement for tonight's battle also. And they got a big shot of enthusiasm from Clayton Williams, a die-hard Bulldog booster.
Midland High has been whipped on a little bit, and we're ready to turn it around, relax. And I tried to have a pep rally like we have yell practice staying in. They said, come on, and let's get them, and let's have them. And said, have some fun. You're the underdog. Go out there and have some fun. Maybe you'll beat them, and I think they will.
Last year, it didn't take too much hype for the Bulldogs to roll all over the Broncos 33-14. So this year, it's revenge time for the red and white. And for the Bulldogs, it's a chance to pick up their second district victory of the year. Mike Gibson, Big 2 News.
When our update continues, Jay Gordon will give you a hint on how to dress for tonight's game.
And despite claims they are satanic, some Odessa school books will remain on the shelves.
Low this morning was 27. That's a new record for us. The old record was 29. 64 was today's high. The sun will rise at 7:08 tomorrow morning. It'll set tomorrow evening at 5:57. And our pollen count comes to us from Dr. John Bray in the Allergy Alliance of the Permian Basin. Weeds at 98 is high. Trees at 82 is moderate. That was weed and trees. Moles now at 1,096 is high. Dust is moderate. We have a warning on moles and weeds. And as far as precipitation is concerned, forget about it tonight. You don't need a raincoat. You don't need snowshoes. It's just going to be maybe just a little bit cool. Look at the cloudiness to the north of us, though. That cloudiness may sink down and give us just sort of partly cloudy skies for the next several days. Otherwise, we have mostly clear skies through the Permian Basin. And the temperature will drop just a little bit during the game tonight. Snow continues to fall in the northern plains. It's kind of scattered across the northern plains and over the southwestern portion of the country. Only some high, thin clouds across the central part of the state and in deep south Texas. And that's about all we're looking at for a while. High pressure will continue to dominate. However, that high pressure is a little bit cold and is moving on to the east and is going to give way to some southwest winds over the southwest. And it'll be just slightly warmer. A little snow is falling in the northern plains, upper Mississippi Valley, across portions of the Rockies into the Pacific Northwest. And in the northeast, some snow is falling there. We have a trough of low pressure extending from the north central plains into southeastern New Mexico. Snow is falling around at a low pressure area there. Temperature is a little bit warm, though, in Bismarck, North Dakota, but then it gets colder in the Great Lakes area, so a little snow is falling. Look at the jet stream curving across the Pacific Northwest, zigzagging around, and this is the area where all the cold air is caught up. And it's beginning to shift now more to the east, and as it shifts to the east, then warm southwest wind will come in on this jet stream. Now our temperatures will climb just a little bit. We have this trough of low pressure might cause wind to be strong occasionally, just a little bit, not a whole lot, and the temperatures will be a little warmer. Well, with warmer temperatures and winds blowing, it really doesn't hurt quite so bad when we got those cold temperatures and that wind's blowing, and that hurts a little bit. We have a little bit of cloudiness in the central and southern part of the state. But overall, we're expecting a dry weekend with temperatures just pretty nice, pretty moderate. Charlie Seals in Coahoma is reporting 55 degrees under clear skies with light southwest wind. That's in Howard County. And Anthony Fabre in Wink is reporting a clear sky, 58 degrees with wind calm in Wink. Now, here's our football forecast. Now, this is for the next 2 or 3 hours. From now until about 10 or 11, we're looking at temperature to be in the neighborhood of 48 degrees, between 45 and 50. And then it'll start falling after midnight. But just for the game alone, we're looking at probably the upper 40s with south wind 5 to 10 miles per hour and mostly clear. Now, later on tonight, we'll have maybe a little bit of cloudiness. Now, early in the morning, around between 5:30 and 6:30, temperatures should hit somewhere near 35 degrees, and we'll have southerly wind 5 to 10 miles an hour. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, but we'll have a little high cloudiness here and there. Southwesterly wind 5 to 15 with tomorrow's high, possibly as high as 75 degrees with 43 or thereabouts for an overnight low tomorrow night. On Sunday, mostly clear. We'll put a little bit of cloudiness, high thin clouds, but looking about 75 for a high. But the temperature is going to start dropping by Monday into the near 70 and then into the 60s by Tuesday and Wednesday. So tonight, I say that we can expect, temperatures in the mid-60s throughout that period. And now, you know how to dress for the game tonight, so here's Mike and Becky to tell you the rest of the story.
All right, thank you, Jay Gordon. Football fans will be out in the night air tonight rooting on their favorite team.
Will they ever? Let's join Skip Baldwin live at Memorial Stadium in Midland. And, Skip, I suspect you've got a packed house out there.
Well, the stands are finally filling up. Mojo crowd, about half of the people are here. The Midland Lee fans, a little bit slower than the Permian fans tonight. About a third of the stadium full right now, but I can promise you there won't be a seat that you can see around 7 o'clock. Stay with us, everyone, because we'll have an extended sportscast coming up right after this.
NCNB Texas.
Well, once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome live to Memorial Stadium in Midland. I'm Skip